What's up, YouTube? We're back with another free pick video. Today is Monday, April 15th. There is no NBA at all today as they ramp up for the play-in tournament, guys. So we're getting straight into baseball again. Guys, I'm super excited about today. Last day of the NBA yesterday was pretty crazy. Not nothing insane, but still nonetheless pretty crazy. The Knicks locked in the 2 seed, which is nuts. The New York Knicks 2 seed. You don't hear that often. But guys, I got a lot of good MLB picks for us today. First off, we're starting with a pitcher. But before we get into that, guys, if you want a free week of my VIP picks, the link is in the description below. Also, I have a free square for you guys available on the Sleeper app and only the Sleeper app. So you guys can use my promo code Beachside Picks to get that rate on the Sleeper app and a deposit match up to $500, guys. But nonetheless, let's get right into it. First play we're gonna go with, guys, for the day is gonna be Mr. Tyler Glasnow for under 9.5 strikeouts, guys. So you can take that on Sleeper. You can take that on Underdog. You can take that on Dabble. But nonetheless, as you can see here, if we pull up his stats, Mr. Tyler Glasnow himself, over his last 5 games, he has been averaging over right around 7.4 strikeouts. He did have 14 against Minnesota, and they are playing against Washington. Washington is a hit or miss team when it comes to making contact with the baseball, guys. As far as the over, I just think 9.5 is a little juiced because his last outing where he had 14 strikeouts. I think Tyler Glasnow can get you about 8 strikeouts on average, 7 to 8 strikeouts on average, and stay out there on the mound until about the 6th, 7th inning. But I don't think he's gonna be dicing up 9.5 by 10, almost 10 batters, guys. Like I said, that line is a little bit juiced from his last game against Minnesota. And if you go over to the Outlier app, guys, this is where I research all my information, and I really think that it would be beneficial for you guys. But they have him for under 9.5. That's why we said 9.5. Prizepicks has them at 9, but most of these other sports books have him at 9.5. And you can see over his last 10 games, guys, he has hit the under in 8 out of his last 10 games. And this is dating back to last season. First 4 games that he's pitched this season, guys, he had 3 strikeouts, 5 strikeouts, 5, then 5, 7, and then 14. I mean, so he doubled what he did against San Francisco, but it was against a Minnesota team who is struggling this year, guys. So nonetheless, and his line has been moving. So around 3 a.m. it was at 9.5. 1 a.m. it was around 8.5, and then it opened at plus 9. So I mean, it's safe to say that this bet won't get bumped up again, especially because of the time that they start playing at today. But who knows? This line can move a little bit. But I think 9.5 is a little juice just because of his last outing. Let's get right into the next one. All right, guys. The next pick that we're going to get right into is going to be for Aaron Nola, under 2.5 earned runs, guys. I am looking this up also on the Outlier tool. But guys, over his last 10 games, he's hit this under 8 out of his last 10 times. 8. He's been pretty consistent on keeping it under 2.5, not giving up 3 runs. Now, to end the season last year, he did give up 4, and then to start off the season this year, he gave up 6. But nonetheless, that was against Atlanta, one of the, if not the best hitting team in baseball, outside of possibly the Dodgers. But guys, I really like this spot for Aaron Nola. He is playing against the Colorado Rockies, who are not good at baseball this year. I don't even know who's in that front office. I don't know what they're doing in that front office, but they're just not. They just don't give a shit. They truly don't. But guys, like I mentioned, he has exceeded. He's stayed under an 8 out of his last 10 games, guys, and he's given up around 1.9 ERA over that stretch. So I really like this spot for him. This play is also available on the Sleeper app. So I feel like if you guys lock it in now before the lines might move, but I don't see I don't see this line moving. I really don't see this line moving whatsoever, guys. It hasn't moved since it opened. So I think this is a pretty good spot, and I would say take this pick right here, especially playing against a Colorado team who has been horrible, absolutely horrible at baseball this year. All right, guys. The last pick I have for you guys is Mr. Martin Perez against the New York Mets, who are a little all over the place, guys. All right, guys. The last pick that we're going to go with is Mr. Martin Perez for under 6.5 hits allowed. He has been pretty consistent with this number. At 9 out of his last 10 games, he stayed under, guys, and he's averaging right around 5.5 hits allowed over his last 9 games. Over his last 10 games. This is dating back to last season. The Pittsburgh Pirates are playing against the New York Mets team, who is very wishy-washy at the plate. They'll either give you 12 runs or they'll give you one. Nonetheless, this is a hit category, but I think that this is a really good spot for him, guys. He pitches right around 5.2 innings on average, and like I mentioned, he's only averaging about 5.5 hits allowed per game over his last 9 out of 10, and over his last 20 games, even dating back to last season, guys, pretty consistently across the board. Once this loads, but this outlier tool will be your best friend, guys. He's been pretty consistent across the board in that regards as well. If you go over to Prizepicks, you will see that they have him at 6.5 hits allowed. But like I mentioned, 13 out of the last 20 games, he has hit that under mark. So that's a pretty good spot to be in. And his last 5 games in a row, guys, he's averaging right around 4.8 hits allowed. So I think it's a pretty safe spot to take. And when it comes to that free square I was going to give you guys, I know I said Tyler Glass now for under 9.5 strikeouts in the beginning of the video, but Sleeper does have him for over half a strikeout. So he just needs to strike out one guy. So if you don't have the Sleeper app, then just go with the play I gave you. But if you do have the Sleeper app, it would be comical to not take that over half a strikeout. Now, if you're new to Sleeper, go ahead and use my promo code Beachside Picks. I have it up right here, so you guys can go ahead and get that over half a strikeout as